I get it. You're scrolling through endless lighting rigs, all flashing studio grade and high output on the listing, and you're left wondering if any of them will actually survive the chaos of a real gig. You've probably bought a headlight that looked amazing in the photos, only to discover the zoom was useless, the pan jittered, or the colors turned muddy once you tried to use it on a dance floor. That hesitation is why I'm doing this deep dive on the American DJ Eliminator Stryker Wash 228W Rgbw moving head, a two-head package that promises a lot, but, more importantly, has to earn its keep when you hook it up to a live DMX console. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about the kind of venues where the Eliminator actually shines. Think small to mid-size clubs, bar events, wedding receptions, or a community theater that needs a splash of color without the budget of a touring production. The kit comes with two heads, each packing 1912W Rgbw LEDs and a motorized zoom that runs from a tight 6-spot to a 50 wash. In practice, that means you can carve a bright, focused beam for a DJ's signature laser-like effect, then swing it back out to blanket the whole dance floor in a smooth gradient. I've seen crews set one head on a 20-foot truss, the other on a portable stand, and they're able to cover a 30 by 30-foot space with distinct color zones, something that would normally require 3 separate fixtures. Now, the first practical strength that shows up when you actually power the thing up is the color fidelity. Because it's an Rgbw unit, you're not stuck with the typical magenta green bleed you get from pure RGB units. The white LEDs let you produce true whites and pastels that don't look oversaturated under club lighting. When I ran a quick test on a black-backed backdrop, the white wash stayed crisp even after an hour of continuous use, which is a real plus for venues that run long sets without a break. The DMX control is straightforward standard 3-channel pan, tilt, and dimmer, plus a few extra channels for zoom and color wheel selection. If you already have a basic lighting console, you won't need to learn a proprietary protocol. It just plugs into any DMX universe. On the flip side, the zoom motor isn't as snappy as you might expect from a pricier fixture. When you dial from a 6-spot to a 50 wash, there's a noticeable lag of about a second, and the movement isn't perfectly smooth. It can wobble a tiny bit at the extremes. In a high-energy club where the lighting operator is constantly switching between tight beams and broad washes, that lag can be a bit distracting. It's not a deal-breaker for a wedding or a church service where cues are pre-programmed, but for a club DJ who likes to improvise on the fly, you'll have to plan your transitions a little more deliberately. Another real-world consideration is the heat management. The heads are compact, which is great for tight rigging, but the LED array runs hot after about 30 minutes of full-intensity output. The unit does have built-in fans, but they're audible enough that you'll hear a faint whir in a quiet room. In a noisy club, that's hardly an issue, but in a theater where you want the lights to be truly invisible, you might need to keep the heads a little lower on the dimmer curve to stay quiet. That ties into power consumption as well. The two heads together draw about 228W, which is modest compared to a 600W moving head, but you still need a reliable power strip with enough headroom if you're stacking other fixtures. So, who should actually buy this? If you're a DJ or small venue lighting tech who needs a versatile, color-rich wash without breaking the bank, the Eliminator delivers value where it counts. Decent brightness, true white output, and enough pan/tilt precision to create dynamic looks on a modest stage. It's also a solid entry point for anyone learning DMX. The heads respond predictably, and the manual is concise enough that you can get them programmed in an afternoon. Conversely, if you're running a touring production, a large concert hall, or you need ultra-fast zoom for rapid strobe-type effects, you'll probably outgrow this unit quickly. The lag in zoom and the audible cooling fans become more noticeable as the scale of the show increases. Let's get into a couple of everyday scenarios that illustrate the strengths and the compromises. Imagine you're setting up a wedding reception in a banquet hall. You want the bride's entrance to be highlighted with a soft, pastel wash that slowly transitions into a richer sapphire for the first dance. With the Eliminator, you can program the two heads to start at 15 zoom, fade into a full 50 wash, and shift the Rgbw mix smoothly all without needing a separate color changer or a separate static wash fixture. The result is a clean, professional look that feels custom-tailored, even though you only spent a fraction of what a